Lads and ladies, thanks for tuning in. We're going to jump right into the episode, and boy oh boy, there's a lot to unpack. Let's get to it. After the good progress we made in the last episode, it seemed a good idea to me to get berry harvesting taken care of next, and so I set off in search of a worthy fruit plucker. Let's try to find an iguanodon. How about iguanodon? Pretty good, I think. Life would be pretty good too. There's an iguanodon right there. What are you? 140. Hello. Perfect. Lo and behold, there was exactly what I was looking for, almost in the backyard. And this would prove itself a recurring theme. Foreshadowing, foreshadowing. So I brought her back home, and wasted no time dispensing friendship toxins at high velocity. While she ate more berries than a farmer's market, the next tames to look for would be Doedicurus and Ankylosaurus for stone and metal gathering. And after not finding anything eye-catching and cycling out some wayward miscreants in the area, the goal shifted temporarily to build up the roost in order to protect the tames that I already had, while waiting for the iguanodon to finish. I don't even want to talk about how many rocks I had to smash. Beautiful iguanodon. What all do we have here? Decent. Okay. Let's name you Thumbelina. Because I'm incredibly ready. There we go. Definitely berry game sorted. Look at that. Now our berry farm was online, and the giggle sauce began to flow. As soon as that batch was crafting, Thumbelina was placed as inside of an open-air concept could allow, and since it had been long enough for new wild subjects to arrive, I went searching for our next target. There weren't many nearby options, so instead of being picky, the 120 Doed would learn that it was adopted, and do the job just fine. But it was pretty beat up, and needed time to heal, because love hurts. So back I went, and this time found a respectable Anki. Which was swiftly snatched from the jaws of death, and would also need time to heal. Which meant more work on the roost. Hooray! More hand gathering! I love that for me. But eventually, enough time had passed, and our new friends were forcibly injected with sleepy juice. Both creatures are incredibly valuable for mining stone and metal respectively, and so the utility minions at my disposal was about to expand, and they would be immediately put to work. What I mean to say is welcomed into the tribe warmly As equals. Yeah, that's right. Here, have some berries. After knocking the Dode and Anki, I decided to craft a shovel and collect the treasure map looted in the previous episode. Sit up on Blue Log. It is, isn't it? Honestly, it was a refreshing change as opposed to treasure always being in the same few places. Let's check here. Yes. Show me the note. It yielded some free antidotes, which I promptly crafted a preserving bin for. Then I placed a feeding trough and began planning the next move. As night began to fall, I realized that the best thing to do was to simply wait for the tames to finish, and so just spent some time off camera organizing the chaos that was my storage, and oh goody, more gathering. It was decided to farm a pinch more chitin while waiting, which gave Harriet the levels needed for 2,000 stamina, so we could begin pumping levels into weight. And then I saw this. Oh, a ringed purple drop is coming down? Yeah, let's go. It's gonna be cold, but I don't care. That is worth it. As I got deeper into the snow, it became clear that the drop was farther away than I first thought, but I was already committed. And after yeeting a couple of pesky direwolves, inside the drop was disappointment. But there was no time to pause and lament. The cold was already seeping into my bones, and it may have already been too late. Close. We're not stopping for the blue. We gotta get back into the warm immediately. Close. Just barely make it. bird and go check that drop also. What did we get? We got some beer. That's cool. Titan feet and an Ascendant Chally saddle. Okay. After equipping my new shoes, there was still time before the tames finished up, and there was another purple drop calling my name. As I landed next to the beacon, what I saw in front of me tickled at a memory. So, after scooping some free ghillie gloves and a saddle BP, I spent a few minutes hunting for what I thought at the time was an Alpha Rex, but in hindsight realized it was fighting a Cerato, and the debuff is what I had seen. Regardless, the winner of that fight had disappeared into the forest. With the sun rising, and with the tames almost finished, I decided to return to camp and regroup. And collect a nearby blue drop which sadly contained nothing useful. Our Dode tamed out first and rolled surprisingly high in melee for its wild low level. Right after that, this map reached a new level of awesome by proving yet again that Nicatus is the GOAT of map building. Fantastic. Okay. Dode in hand, much better equipped for base building. Oh yeah, I still need to make those two ceilings. Well, I guess it's semi-convenient, is it? No. What is that? What? Is the volcano erupting? No way! Oh, Nicatus, you clever boy. Well, that's something we're gonna have to stay aware of now. Oh no! Does it get? We're gonna have to investigate the volcano when it's not erupting. Oh my goodness. This is so cool. I mean, it's something small, but it's so obvious, right? You would think it's a volcano, it should erupt. Oh, they explode too. That is awesome. Oh, that's so cool. After ogling the mountain of fiery death, I was thankfully spared from hand mining more metal. Alright, sick. What do you roll? The Anki tamed out with mediocre melee, yet it's still better than no Anki at all. So after finishing the roost, as I was farming resources to build base structures, this Moss Chops wandered into the camp. What do you want? Mango berry, let's go! Come on, Moss Chops, don't be greedy. 140? Oh my goodness. Well, it's a gamble. I thought for sure that after eating the Majo berry, it was going to want something dumb like giant bee honey, which I wasn't really prepared to farm yet. What do you want to eat? Come on, do it. Tell me. Get hungry. After what felt like an hour of just standing around regretting my life choices, I swore that if it was going to be greedy, it would be fashioned into a lovely leather coat. However, it's gotta be close. Rare mushroom, we can do it! Yes! Oh, I left my door open. Scrub. Look at that. We got rare mushrooms for days. Come here. I have a snack for you. Be my friend. The stats weren't particularly special, but with our organic polymer game now sorted, it felt like he deserved a name worthy of memory. In honor of that moment, we will name you Arnold. After taking time to build the necessary structures for the new base location, my inner loot goblin noticed another purple beacon in the distance, and I'll take any chance at a good long neck rifle that I can get. And sure enough, also worthless. It seemed the ARK had found a way to impede progress after all. Looking around at my surroundings, the memory that had tugged at me during the previous sighting came full circle. Oh, is that an Alpha Rex? No way. You're joking. I heard a Rex. I wonder if it's the same Rex. It is the same Rex. I knew that this had to be done now. A prize like this, so early, could not be ignored. This was going to take a long time, but be totally worth it. And I also decided to share the XP with Harriet to boost her levels. After it was close to death, it was time to grab a couple of close-by notes to boost the XP from the kill. And just like that, the mighty beast had been felled. And so I stood atop its corpse, defiant, triumphant, taunting the guardians of the ARK that their turn was fast approaching. Unfortunately, there was no loot beyond tributes and a skull trophy. You're kidding me! Yet, the real value was the victory itself. And also 4 levels for my survivor, as well as a whopping 29 levels for Harriet, which went straight into carry weight, making her viable as a carrier and mining rig. Upon returning to base, it was time to finish building the last few structures needed to complete the temporary shelter at the new base location, and load up Harriet with them. Before departing, it occurred to me that the Dode and Anki hadn't been named yet, and thought that after their hard work, it was a fitting time to change that. Okay, we're gonna name you, Geodode. Have a conniption, but let's name you... Screw it, we're just gonna name you Pickaxe. With our friends properly named, it was time to depart to the new location, and Geodode would be coming with us on trip 1. Now I'm not gonna lie, the new location was all the way across the map, as I had decided to build on the sandbar across from Carno Island. This spot is ideal for solo play, as it is hands down the best spot for a combination land and water base, without blocking any significant spawns, being one of the flattest spots on the entire map. Just before arriving, as the sun began to set, the weather took an unexpected turn. Whoa! I'm just about to arrive at the base location, but guys, check out this storm. It's Ragnarok storming on the island. Yo! Okay, this is sick. This is so much better than the vanilla island. It doesn't even compare. It's like the same map, but come on. You can't compete with this. The volcanoes erupted, now we're getting this awesome storm. I can't wait for Thimbleweed, man. I can't wait. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god! What is going on? Oh! Oh my god! Oh, this storm is actually kind of scary. This looks great, and you can still kind of see. Oh, this is such a better, this is a better version of the island. No contest. And so, with the storm raging, I built a temporary box. Emphasis on temporary. Calm yourself. To house the creatures in during proper construction of the area later. As I was building, this happened. There's a 145 PT. Well, it's gotta be done, doesn't it? It just has to be done. Oh, it's got a baby too. Gotta be done. Don't mind if I do. Now, don't ask me where that prime meat came from. Just look at the flowers. While the Pteranodon chomped down on choice cuts, I finished the box, only needing to put the roof on at this point. When it was done, I opted to go for a yellow drop that I had seen coming down on Carno Island during construction and narrowly avoided getting jumped by a saber-tooth. Flat is good. We like flat. Nice field for head base. Oh, it's an acro. 85. They're huge. Taking a moment to admire the new Acrocanthosaurus, which I cannot wait to tame, a familiar sound caught my attention. Rex. Oh, stop it! Alright, there was no question. Priorities had suddenly shifted. And while bringing additional prime meat back to the Pteranodon and planning how to tame the Rex, I saw this also. This is crazy. Yeah, we gotta kill that, dude. Alright. Just like that, we had a list of things to accomplish. Once the PT was locked in to wake up without issue, I decided the best thing to do was to wait out the storm before attempting either of those new tasks, and instead made another trip back to camp to retrieve another friend, as well as pick up the drop trap and move it onto Carno Island, instead of building another one, which I could easily replace later if there was a reason to. Swooping in for a blue drop also yielded some additional information about the map, and also more questions. I would definitely need to investigate the inside of the volcano more closely later. At this point, I started grabbing every drop worth going for during travel because I still had basically nothing in terms of items or BPs, and the mid-game was practically upon us already, but I'm not going to show them all. With the storm unabated, the sun began to rise, and I began putting my plans into action. After the trap had been rebuilt and adapted to our target, it was time to slay a second alpha, which took quite a while. As in, project next year's taxes a while. But finally. And with that, the way was clear to bait our lovely Rex. Thankfully, it didn't take long to find her again. After a bit of negotiation and tender coercion, I managed to get her to follow me to the trap. And in she went. Everything was going great. I couldn't believe how smooth this had gone. I had to say it though, didn't I? Just as she was about to knock out, tragedy struck.
No! Oh, I was afraid of that.
With no backup crossbow, I had no choice but to rush to repair it, only to realize that all the resources were still back at the original camp. And in that moment, I died a little inside, figuring that the entire process would have to be reset if she wasn't killed first. So I immediately started flying back for the next trip, because might as well at this point. On the way, I remembered that I hadn't even checked the loot from the Alpha Carno. Sadly, no crossbow, but an Ascendant treasure map for later. This was the morale boost that I needed to maintain the pace, so returning to camp, I repaired my crossbow and crafted a spare, along with plenty more trank arrows. Mind set, I was determined to tame this Rex if at all possible. It would be a total game changer. After returning to base with fresh arrivals, I decided to name the PT before returning to the Rex, figuring that giving it as long to heal before rendering it back in would be a wise decision. Maybe it was something in the air, but I chose to name it Lucky out of spite and irony, given the current circumstances. Then I plucked a Dilophosaur to feed to the Rex to heal it, and flew back over. Little did I know that Lucky was indeed the correct name after all.
Did the Rex die? No! Or is it knocked out? It knocked out! No shot, dude. How? Okay, that... Huh? What? Has that ever happened to any of you? That's nuts.
We were back on like nothing ever happened, and my spirits couldn't have been any higher. Take that, ARK. You tried. You tried. The rest of that day was spent hunting for Prime and collecting drops while the Rex napped, getting fat and sassy. It also began to storm again, as though in response to my threats, the ARK itself protested, denying that victory was mine yet again. And so, with the Rex now locked in, I used the time to make one final trip back to camp. While there at the camp, I took the time to build a raft to transport our new mighty beast from Carno Island, and took a last look around, allowing time for some metal to smelt for the Rex's saddle. With that done, Arnold got his first view from above as we made the journey to our new home once more while the dawn peeked through the clouds. After the storm passed, it was time to retrieve our prize. She rolled into respectable melee, but painfully low health. Still, any Rex is better than no Rex at all, and it was the start of a bloodline. Rex Rider achieved on day 6. Let's go! It was becoming clear that this had been a blessed beginning to the playthrough all around, and I began to wonder how the ARK would get revenge, as inevitably it tends to do. But it didn't matter. Our Rex was home safely, a powerful protector watching over our homestead. A cheeky red drop yielded some hard polymer, but after a few more drops resulted in basically nothing, the moment had come to dig up the Ascendant map, which was just past the redwoods. And after fooling a Carno into losing a fight with gravity, tangible disappointment. I mean, it was a BP we didn't have yet, so that was something. But come on, really? That's it? A ringed yellow drop, however, yielded a nice sickle, no thanks to a Microraptor. And this ringed blue drop gave us a pre-crafted cannon of all things, which could potentially be useful another day. Even though the ARK had denied us meaningful loot rolls all along, it had been a productive session. Mistakes were made, that's true, but goals were also reached and unexpected bounties collected. And we're just getting started. So, it's time to end this episode here. If you made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, I have not yet named our Rex, and I leave her name up to you. Comment below what you think we should name her. Until then, I plan to spend some time off camera building out the base more aesthetically. I'll let you know if anything interesting happens. This is Captain Kerredin, signing off. Until next time, I'll see you on the flip.